Well, hello, hello, hello. It is Friday. It's 4:30 or thereabouts. Welcome to another episode of Whiskey Friday without any whiskey. It's like water in a coffee cup Friday, but, you know, doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Sign in to chat. Is that for us or for somebody else? Hey, sup, Mr. Justin Green? Hello, Oris. How are we, everybody? Coffee Friday. Woohoo! I did break down and have a whiskey the other day. I'm weak, people. I'm weak. I did not have constitution for long-term suffering. It was a long week. I lost a day earlier this week. I thought Tuesday was Wednesday, or Wednesday was Tuesday, and Thursday was Wednesday. And then Thursday was Thursday, and it felt extra long for some reason. So, anywho, how was y'all's week? Everybody doing good? We continue to do some updates and do stuff with the set and add little cameras and doohickeys that we can show you guys as we fade in and out of stuff to continue the evolution of Whiskey Friday. Pardon me. So for this week, we are going to talk about the 800-pound gorilla that happened today. The 992.2 was Friday flavored whiskeys, indeed. 992.2 dropped today, at least the first video about it. We know a little more about it. It is kind of some things we expected. It's a 4-liter flat six, essentially carried over from the previous generation. Couple things that are interesting with it, though. I did listen to a couple other podcasts and announcements and other journalists' take on it. I guess Porsche had to keep the car emissions compliant in Europe, they had to reduce the particle emissions by 40% with this engine. That's not easy. Essentially, that means that they have to push it through an even finer mesh, which means more pressure drop. Engine's going to be pushing harder against that mesh. You can see a picture on the right there where, there we go. The muffler is quite a bit different than on the 992.1 cars. That's going to take me a minute to wrap my brain around saying 992.1, not 991.2. From what I understand, it's 2 sets of cats and a particulate filter. And that's a really short exhaust to pack that much stuff in. So we'll see how it does. Hopefully it's not monitored around the world so that we can continue to do what we do and put headers and good stuff on the car and make them sound good and make them run well and happily. You guys can see the differences side to side. This is a cutaway of 992.1 that we borrowed from the internet. Who cut that apart, Justin? Where'd you find that picture? Okay. I feel like it might be Soul, but I'm not sure. No, maybe not. There's a robot in the background. There's, maybe it's Fab Speed, actually. I see some, anyway, one of our competitors cut the muffler apart. We're going to borrow the picture. That was kind of them. And it's available on the internet. If you don't want shit to be reused on the internet, don't put it there. There you go. Like pictures of suspension parts, but I digress. So the engine is essentially the same. It's making the same power. It has been re-geared with shorter gearing. Talking to Charles, he believes that they did that with the final drive, not with the transmission, because there wouldn't really be a reason to, if you did it across the board 8%, then you do that with a final drive. You wouldn't do that with individual transmission gears. Some of the other things that are interesting with the car. Can you pull pictures back up of it? Like some of the front, back, more of the front. I'll talk about the front here for a second. Cosmetically, yeah, it's perfect. That's perfect. It's not very different in the front. It's subtly different. These carbon air guides on the left and right, the kind of trapezoidal pieces there. This is something that Charles suggested 3 years ago when we first had our 992. Maybe, yeah, I guess that was more like 2 years ago, whatever, 2-3 years ago, to kind of block off those direct side routes for air to come through so that it would stagnate a little bit over the front splitter and allow for more downforce. That's stagnation air dam, if you will, splitter. You gain, if you block the air's path through the car, it's going to build up. It's going to get heavy. You're going to have higher pressure on the top and lower pressure underneath. And that's a way to provide downforce in the front. Now, that is directly creating drag, right? When you essentially block the air from going through something and make it kind of build up in that area, then yeah, it's going to create a bit of drag. But I'm sure Porsche managed that. You can see it has bleed holes in the top, you know, those carbon bits where they bleed out. So they got rid of the kind of little guppy mouth in the front of the car from the 992.1. That's what I call it, the surround there for the radiator inlet. There we go. Thank you. Perfect. So it looks a little cleaner maybe than a 992.1, but very subtly different. Not remarkable changes. A couple of the interesting things that you haven't necessarily, those of you who haven't paid attention to it or looked at it, that's fine. You can get a manual or a PDK in both a winged version and a touring version. They have a YSOC package for it, which is generally just shiny carbon parts. Like the car on the right is a YSOC package, but only the middle of the hood is exposed in carbon. The rest of it's painted. So you can either have the stripe or no stripe. That's it. So you can't have a completely exposed carbon hood. Maybe you can with Sonderwunsch, the hopes and dreams thing that Porsche does. Personally, I would take the all orange one on my left. Your left also. What else they do? Oh, they added rear seats. Good question, Larry. I'd need to see the bottom. Not sure. It looks like they're trying to allow some pressure to come through the way it kind of comes up anhedrally versus being one continuous lip, which means they're probably trying to feed some more air down the center of the car than towards the edges. That's generally why you do that. It helps when the car's turning, when it's going in, when the car's in yaw. That helps. What else? You can get back seats in the touring, so that's an interesting addition for those of y'all with kiddos. Especially small ones, if they're 6 feet tall, they're probably not going to sit in the back there. Yeah, I'm not sure about the non-touring. I would expect that you could probably spec a winged car with rear seats. It's essentially the same. I would hope that they wouldn't make it that much of a pain in the ass. The YSOC package for the GT3 looked to be about $25,000. The lightweight package for the touring looked to be about $40,000 to $45,000 because I'm converting from Great British pounds. That's the one video that I saw. So that coupled with a $222,000 base price, and then if you want PTS, add another 20. You want lightweight wheels, add another 15. You're like 220 plus 25 plus 15 plus plus you're to 300 real quick without any ADM. Is a GT3 really a $300,000 car? Kind of struggling with that. It's a really good car. I don't know if it's a $300,000 car. Hence the title that we put up here. Is it worth the money? Is it worth it? Not sure. Driving experience wise, taking them to the track, actually driving them the way they're supposed to, I can't think of a better mark than Porsche and any of the GT cars. It's why Dundon does what we do. We enjoy building them, we enjoy making them, we enjoy ensuring that they go quick and do well. But yeah, that's a lot of dough. It's a lot of dough. I think my 992 GT3 came in at, yeah, it was 210 after the $15,000 ADM and all of the options that I wanted. So yeah, I got something in my eye. 1 second. There we go. Now it flushed out. The other cool thing that I wish they did on the RS is they actually put fold forward seats. And they're new seats, they're different, and they fold forward. Oh, so cool. So yeah, Larry, I'd say you did all right on the 4RS with that being kind of the new waterline for GT cars, right? There's things that we don't know yet about the car, right? We don't know what the bottom looks like. It does say it makes more downforce than the outgoing 992, but it's not dramatically more. I didn't actually notice the numbers, but you can tell there's little things that they're doing to it. So yeah. Hello, Matthew. How are you? It's funny. We have a track chat group that we chat about with a bunch of local guys here, and it came up today. Oh, well, at 222 as the base price, that means that there isn't going to be any ADM. And I'm like, no, that didn't work with the new RS when, optioned out their 300, 305, 285, this kind of thing. They had no problem saying, yeah, you got to give me $400,000. You don't get a car. Funny feeling the dealers will have no problem doing the same thing with a 992 GT3. They're just going to tack on their 100 grand that they've become accustomed to getting and move forward that way. And that's going to be that. So does anybody have any questions about any of that? Any comments that you'd like to share upon our learned fellows in this fun chat? Agreed, Justin. Yeah, the dealers have grown far too accustomed to getting it, and the salespeople have grown far too accustomed to getting it. So, new dampers on the GT3. Yes, actually. Do you have any pics of that queued up? Of mouse? All right. Justin's got some bits for the, I assume, Royal, you're talking about our 991.1 GT3. That has been going over a suspension overhaul with all of our bits and goodies. Rear tension arms. It's got new tie rods. It's got new inner lower control arms, new outer lower control arms, Dundon tension arm for the front, MCS three-ways, our camber plates. We're getting it all dialed in. It'll get Girodisc steel rotors all around. So those, I thought those maybe would be here today. Maybe they'll be here on Monday. And we're even going to run Girodisc's GP30 brake pad compound on the car. So that should be excellent to try. So yeah, it's getting all done. Our deck lid project for that car is the prototype is inbound. We 3D printed it in segments so that we can check it on the car, and that will enable our Valkyrie aero and splitter and such to go on the car. We're going to slowly build this car up before we take the engine out and see how effed all of the finger followers are, because it has 50,000 miles on it. So, yeah, go ahead and roll some of that beautiful bean footage, as it were. Yeah, there we go. So this is just a little bit of the video we're putting together for install on the MCS three-ways in the 991 that we have here. So you'll see this video come together here shortly. Checking torque on some things. What's going on, Mike? Aloha Friday, brother. You can see all the pretty Dundon suspension bits in there, making the car easier to align, giving it more range of alignment, etc., all that good stuff. So it'll be nice to have it all dialed in. Hello, Mr. Matty. How you doing? I saw your ST's almost done. Congrats on that. So yeah. Enough on that car. Let's talk about Mr. Barry Miner. It's Track Time released a YouTube video. Right? Showing my age. Roll that beautiful bean footage. So those of you who have not seen it yet, the guy on the left, that guy throwing the shaka is Ted. You guys will probably recognize him. He's our sales manager and local hot shoe. He's the one that gets to be the pilote when we go test things and go see them. He got sent out to Coda, rough life. Somebody doesn't know what the track limits are there. Lap canceled. Back of the line, Buster. You too, Mr. Oh, maybe not. That seemed more legit. He's still in the green. Barry bought a bunch of goodies for his 4RS. He actually came up here during the summer and drove our friend John McClellan's car. John was kind enough to meet up with him and show him the exhaust, how it sounded, the power when you drove the car, the grip of the aero, the suppleness of the MCS, and Barry was sold. Barry was comparing us to a full Manti kit, and much to what we've been telling people is when he asked the dealership about the Manti kit and how he might change it, how he might adjust it, what the alignment settings were, and these kinds of things, they couldn't really answer the question. So Barry did more than most. He went to Germany and he went to the Nürburgring and he actually visited Manti, and they didn't have any example parts there of what's on the car. They just kind of showed him the car. I was like, that's it. And he's like, well, can I see the bottom? You say it has a splitter on it. It looks like it just has a standard plastic, the stock part, air dam on it, not a splitter. And they didn't really give him the time of day. And he was just kind of like, well, okay, great. You guys aren't doing a great job of trying to get me to want to buy this or answering my questions. And when he came here, gave him, walk around. I didn't know about his trip to Germany when we did this. This is just kind of generally what we do. This is Mr. John McClellan's car. You guys are seeing in the background. That would be our Labrat in before and after guys. So anyway, Barry was impressed with the parts. He ended up purchasing them. They recently got installed on his car. This is Felix at Saga Motorsports. For those of you who are looking to find an installer in Austin, probably don't necessarily go looking for Saga to try and get an appointment. They are, we'll call it a private client shop. They're not always open for everyone. You got to know somebody. For those of you who want a great shop that even Saga uses, please go visit Mike at Black Sheep. Mike at Black Sheep is a Dundon preferred dealer. And so that's, he does a lot of alignments. He installs an enormous amount of MCS, and I believe he is the one that put Larry's GT4 together, and we'll soon be putting his GT4 RS back together. So very cool. When you get a chance, take a look at the video. Barry goes through a whole lot of it. It's about a 30-minute video. And in true YouTuber fashion, he did the first 30 minutes of actually, I'm going to let you guys watch it. I'm not going to spoil it. I'm not going to spoil it. Oh, Larry, that's awesome. That's awesome. So Barry did the full jam. Ted did the shakedown. Car went really well. It was kind of hot. First day, they didn't have fresh tires. And then on the second day, Barry got all the fresh tires, and then Ted got it to set a lap at like 3 o'clock, and I think it was like 90 degrees out, 85 degrees out. So it was hot. Wasn't the best conditions. A lot of wiggle words for Ted. Didn't go as fast as an early morning fresh set of tires would have allowed him to go, but he still went faster than Randy. So that's cool. That's cool. My man gets it done. He gets it done, son. What else? What else going on this week? Oh, yeah, the shit that's in front of me. Hello. So one of the things that Barry, a niggle that they had is, can you bring up a picture of the exhaust with the axles? So our GT4 RS exhaust was intentionally designed as a through axle, not an over axle. And it's a through axle because, yeah, he did get moving quite a bit faster that week. It's a through axle because the secondary part of the exhaust should be short. The overall length should be short for a flat six, and the primary should be long. So if you have long primaries and then you go up and over the axle and come back down and then go in versus going across the bottom, you know that the hypotenuse is shorter distance than the two sides of the triangle added up. Little a squared plus b squared equals c squared for you. Always try and get your science in. That's geometry for those of you who are English majors. So we call that a wave pipe. Yes, it can. Like the real axle? Well, axle had a big range, so we'll see. So that was the original design. I'll spin this around so you guys can see it. There we go. So let me show you this one. So this is the wave pipe. All right. I'm giving Justin some fits here. So this is the wave pipe. You guys can see that it's a 3-inch and consists of 3 bends with 2 V-bands on the end of it. And where we were having trouble was right here in this tape. At full droop on some of them, not every car, but some of them, the axles would hit at full droop. Now, are we really worried about full droop? Not really, because we don't jump our cars around here. Nürburgring, there's a couple spots, maybe, that might be an issue. But even then, it's not going to knock anything out of place. It's not going to hurt the axle, et cetera, et cetera. All that said, enter 3D printed loveliness. Check this shit out. This is awesome. So this is 3D printed 347. And so all of this cross-sectionally is the same. So there will be no change in pressure as the flow is going through here. And this will give us substantially more room for that axle. I forget exactly how much it is, but it's at least another inch, which is great. Excited to continually improve things. You know, when we see or get feedback about parts, we try and address it. Try and make it right. So these are not quite in production kits. I think we're getting close, though. I think we are getting close. So probably once we're into our Black Friday sale, these will probably start moving, and these will be what's the word? Put to pasture. Put them to pasture. They're all done. Just like me. Put me to pasture. I'm all done. I'm feeling that way this week. 3D additive is where it's at, brother. This is all super cool stuff. We even made this with locating tabs and slots so that you don't even have to fabricate it. You don't have to try and put it in a jig and everything. You just like Legos, and that's the sound it makes. You know, you guys got to pay attention. That's what metal sounds like, just like that when it goes together. Some shit you didn't know. You're learning stuff. I don't know. I don't have a 3D printer. I don't want to have a 3D printer. I think it's a $3 million 3D printer that prints these. So much rather pay somebody and make it their problem. And they just send me parts and we finish our stuff. It's better. It's better. It's like you don't make the drugs, you just prescribe them to people. Is often a better way than the other way. Makes you feel better, indeed. Indeed. Larry, we can swap you out if we need to. I don't think it's going to be necessary, but what else? Ah, yes, we'll go back to your comment. Yeah, we did. We covered the 992.2 first thing. More better. Yeah, 992.2 GT3 is more better. Check. Actually, it's not more better. It's kind of more of the same. But with back seats and a whole lot more expensive. 222 for essentially the same car as a 992.1, but with carbon bits, Y-sock on the chair, and fold forward seats. Yeah, that might be worth an additional 20 grand. I'm not sure. I think we did these at you guys are hitting me with a bunch of technical questions I'm not ready for. I forget what the wall thickness of these are. But those are good questions. Justin probably tell. Thinner. Ah, yeah, it is. Thinner, lighter. Thinner, lighter, mo better is why. Same strength, actually stronger than 321. These are 347. Finding 347 tubing is a challenge, but what's going on? Dry Friday, yes, sir. It's an empty coffee cup that had water in it. I actually need some more water, but that's another... I'll get some of that here in a minute. Yeah. Barry went faster. I think he was 4 seconds clear of his personal best in his 4RS Labrat. We also had another customer win their time attack series in South Africa with a 991.2 with his 991.2 GT4 RS. God, you guys got good questions. Both of these are good questions. I'll come back to that. So South Africa guy went fast. We're in the middle of dropping a video about our buddy Gabe Zamora and how he goes fast with our parts and wins trophies and goes faster than turbocharged custom built race cars for time attack in a street car with bolt-ons, which is very, very nice. That's also a sound that happens when you throw the OK sign up. Anyway, Mike is asking, so the Dundon exhaust should take good advantage of the RS cam profile. So what's curious, the RS cam profile, I like the torque curve of the 992.1 better than what the RS has. Dundon headers do help for sure. And we're working on some intake side mods to help fill that torque curve back out, because it's a little flat through the mid-range where you'd kind of expect the car to have a little bit more punch. The 992, I didn't catch that the 992.2 has cams out of the RS. That I didn't catch, but that's interesting. We need a Whiskey Friday Jamie soundboard now. Yeah, for sure. I like making them en natural, so I like my own. I'm working on it. Yeah, Justin is working on a soundboard. GT3 Matty, we will not make a lightweight flywheel kit for a couple reasons. One, they're dangerous. They can add to harmonics in the engine that are destructive, and I would rather leave that to Porsche to warranty versus being a part of that conversation. Hey, why did my cam bolts back out? Ever since I put your flywheel on, you know, this bad thing happened and this bad thing happened. We've seen it from a bunch of customers with GT4s and with 997s and on and on and on. So lightweight flywheels are great in a race car. They're not always so great in a street car, but your mileage may vary. So there it is. Soundboard, Stream Deck. Pew, 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 pew. Stuff like that. And then Justin asked a good question. So then, what's stopping people from 3D printing Metzger internals? That next sentence, other than price. Because once it's 3D printed, you still have to machine it for an engine internal. The tolerances of engine internals, 3D printers can't quite hold on their own. So they're still going to have to get machined. They're still going to have to get fixed up. Such that all the clearances are the same and everything's right. So some of the parts may be able to be made, like cam housings and some of that kind of stuff. You might be able to 3D print that, but you're still going to have to finish machine it. And those parts custom made will never, ever, ever be as cheap as they are from Porsche. They're going to be expensive from aftermarket just because you don't have the volume, right? You don't know how many of those you're going to make. If you're going to 3D print it, it's going to take a long time. Works for some of the simple stuff that we're doing. But because this actually prints relatively quickly, it's all in a bed. It all gets kind of grown at the same rate. Not super horrible. But yeah, that's probably why you're not going to see 3D printed engine internals for a Metzger. I'd probably 5-10 years, maybe the technology gets faster. There's enough of them out there that there's an overcapacity so that they want to run kind of side jobs with their main jobs to do. And I'm completely speculating here and talking out of my ass. I don't know. So, what else? Mr. Himmelman has his 997.1 D4 all tuned up, all nice, all running strong. So that's awesome. I actually just made another quote for our friend Paul Jackson out of Dubai. He's going to go to the UK here this winter. Why he would want to go to the UK in the winter when he's in Dubai, I'm not sure about. Maybe it's for Christmas. I don't know. But he's going to ship his car over there and he's doing something extra special. So he built a 4-liter for his 997.2 GT3 RS. And rightfully, many of the 997 guys are concerned about sorry, I'm watching the comments going on over here and they're just a little bit distracting. Yeah, the Dundon calendar kit. I'm like, Christmas calendar. I'm worried about Christmas party first. But Paul is going to do, he's got a 4-liter for his 997.2 3RS. He's going to do a full D4 package so that he doesn't have to worry about the flap coming out of his stock intake manifold. And all the extra power is nice, but mainly so that he doesn't have to worry about the bolts and such coming loose and ratcheting around ricocheting around inside the engine and doing damage to his fresh 4-liter build. And he's actually going to control it with our friends at Calibrated Performance that we were a part of this original design, and we just didn't really want to support it ongoing. It's a little outside of our purview. Our friend at Calibrated Performance Motec package for a 997. So that is going to be a really sweet build because he will have no torque limiters. We'll be able to tune the car any which way we want. Having access to both sets of camshafts will be really a treat. So being able to tune that car kind of how it should be really awesome. Should be really awesome. So for those of you that are not aware, we kind of announced it last week. I will continue to announce it this week. We have, for our friends and family and viewers and customers, if you guys are wanting something and don't want to wait till Black Friday, reach out. We'll give you that Black Friday price now. because our Black Friday sale will be starting pretty soon. Not so long from now. It will be before November that it starts. I'll say that. Little bomb drop for you. Haha. That also goes for our dealers. Anybody who's got talking to a dealer, wanting to get some parts, hit us up. Dealers get extra special rates this time of year, and we'll be able to help everybody out. Season of giving. Oh wait, that's in December. But yeah, season of you giving me your money. Yeah, that's the giving I'm talking about. That's it. Yes, sir. But wait, I'm making Justin crack up. I always say things that are inappropriate, but kind of my nature. Kind of my nature. Message retracted. Well played, Justin.
No, I think he got moderated.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, he got moderated.
Oh, because he said pure sex? Oh, that's funny. That was an automatic moderation by YouTube?
I think so.
Oh, damn.
It didn't show up on the... I'm a screenshot.
Yeah, that's wild. We haven't seen that before. Justin, you pissed YouTube off. What the hell, man? This is a child-friendly program over here. All the F-bombs I drop and whiskey I drink. You got to be kidding me. That's pretty gravy. That's pretty gravy. Nice. There you go. You guys can see it. Just wife came home. No, can't say that. Delete. Nope. Why are you saying a car sound is like sex? That makes me feel less than a woman, honey. You know. Nice. Wife heard me say it on Talk to Text. Who are you talking to? It's Jake from State Farm, honey. I bet you look good in those khakis. In other news, I have been slowly chipping away at building my driving sim at home so that I can progress with my driving over the winter, because we don't get a lot of dry track days. It's a track racer setup for those of you who are sim guys, and it kind of comes like a life-size erector set. And those of you who there are children present, I said erector set. Track racer out of Texas. So it's got beams, and then you slip it has like, it's all extruded aluminum. It's got beams, and you slip the nutserts inside the channels, and then you got to kind of hide and find all of the things that they go to. It's a bit of a pain in the butt. Yeah, I got the TR6, I think is the one that I have. One in the middle and the bottom. There you go. That one, yeah. TR120, yeah, something like that. So you can see all those cross members and whatnot. You got some assembly required there. I'm still in the middle of the assembly, so I'm also waiting for. I bought a virtual reality helmet thingy, and they haven't shipped it yet, but they say they shipped it, so that's a little bit concerning. I've been waiting for the company to get back to me. They got back to me once, and essentially they said, we haven't heard anything from our shipper yet. Like, oh, well, you said 24 hours, it's been a week. Kind of, he said nutserts, totally. Turn into Beavis and Butthead over here. So hopefully that doesn't turn into me doing a chargeback on my credit card, and they'll actually be legit, and then I can still find one of the headsets that I need, because I did not order a big bunch of monitors because I don't have room in the room for the sim for big giant wraparound monitors. Oh, yeah. That looks like that. I don't have room for all the monitors right there. So, this is the kind of janky sim that we have here that was purchased by a former employee. And I started to take it apart to bring it home, and then realized that that's probably not a great idea, because part of learning on the sim is to really get your braking consistent and stronger, because that's how you're going to control the car and really You don't have to kind of slow down the car. You slow down the car. You're like, bang, on the brakes, come down, and then feather off and maintain control. Like that's kind of the next levels of getting your driving really dialed in. So you're kind of controlling it all with that. Controlling it the way that Jack does. You know, his braking inputs are very strong because he is very good in a E30 spec E46. I think he came in second in the championship this year. So, which is unfortunate that he didn't come in first. I think it was some bullshit that went down. You know, he didn't actually get that first place finish. But welcome, Jack. Good to see you, brother. So 992.2, Barry's GT4 RS. Yeah, we can show that. We've had our 3RS all torn apart. Again, many dots everywhere. This was mainly to do some induction work. So, I mean, Charles had all the back of the car taken apart, including the intake manifold taken off and a bunch of scanning doing. So we're going to play with that. We're actually, now that we have the scans, we're going to finish up work on the cup car so that we can tune it the way we want to make sure that the physics works the way that we expect it to work. And when we have that all dialed, then we'll come back to the 991.1s and the 992 variants, the ITB cars, so that we can try and build a suite of intake manifold products. The one thing that I want to be careful of is when we did this originally, we didn't have an easy way to, or thorough way to tune the 991.1s. Yeah, it is. It's the braking. The braking is, and getting back to throttle, keeping the car settled and then right back to throttle. No, that's where you find lots and lots of time on the racetrack. When I'm on and I'm doing that and doing it over and over and over again, you're going to build some muscle memory. It's going to become much more habitual. You're going to be much better at feeling what the car is doing, especially in a sim where you pretty much only got your eyeballs to tell. You don't have any extra rotation in the car, no yaw, no nothing. So at least that's what people who sim race tell me. So I'm excited to try and achieve those things. Back to the RS. So we're scanning all this bit, making sure that we have all of that kind of in the bank since we took the car apart, and taking the car apart is kind of a pain in the ass. Once we're there, probably over the winter, then we'll move forward with that. Exciting stuff is happening next week. Our friends from Calibrated Performance will be in town. Daniel's going to be here, and Simon, who works with Daniel, is going to be here, and we're going to work on Pumpkin, and we're going to work on Cup Club Sport, and we're going to work on DGG Boxster, and we're going to work on DGG 996 GT3 RSR. That's a lot of cars that are all going to get worked on. So main focus is going to be on Pumpkin and Cup Club Sport. So Cup Club Sport is getting a full wire harness redo and a power distribution management, PDM from Bosch, a whole bunch of good stuff, so that car will be, hopefully by springtime, we're actually getting closer to bringing that thing out on track and really starting to put it through its paces, because I'm kind of, for my own view on the market, the Porsche market, Porsche setting kind of a $300,000 line for 992.2 GT3s is perfect, because if we can do what we think, if we can do what we set out to do with Pumpkin and with Cup Club Sport, a couple of these other cars, then the market will come to us. We won't have to market anything and push anything out. It'll all just come to us, which will be fantastic. So, was that picking up clinkety clankings? So yeah, those of you, I know Orest is interested in some of what we're talking about. A couple of you know what we're talking. I know Larry's got impatient, bought himself a 4RS, which rightfully you should. It'll be a good car for you. And then the next one after the 4RS we'll be ready to go for what we've been talking about for a number of years. Should be really fun. So yeah, next week should be fun. I'm excited to really like knuckle down and get Pumpkin dialed, maybe even before Halloween, so we can actually have a Pumpkin Rides Again video. Be dope. We can get all the license the music and, you know, do all that. Dress up in black capes and throw some blood on it. There you go. Pumpkin. I love Pumpkin. I did an exposed carbon fiber hood before anybody knew what the fuck it was. Just saying. That's a YSOC edition 997.1 GT3 RS. Or something. I have very little else. Hopefully you all have a wonderful weekend, and you keep the drama out of your lives. Drama's exhausting. Just say that. We've had a lot of drama this week. Supplier drama, customer, not so much customer drama. We haven't had any customer drama. That's been pretty low key. We've had dealer drama, shops that want to buy stuff from us that are causing drama. Oh, I did have one. I heard, yeah, we didn't get to this. Did you ever get that picture of the strut top? Blowed up? Yeah, let's share that. So I heard something from a dealer that we fired because they were not taking good care of their customers, and they'd end up charging them more, throwing Dundon under the bus, saying that, you know, they got struts that weren't right and blah, 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 all this kind of crap. So, and they told a customer of ours from Texas, it's Brendan, Larry, Brendan, whom you might know. I think you do. He's local COTA track guy. That MCS was the reason that the struts were failing when they were installed in cars. I'm like, well, that's curious, because the picture on the right is a stock strut and the picture on the left is a stock strut, and every car I've ever heard of that has had this happen to it had stock struts in it, and MCS is actually the way to fix it, not a contributor to it happening. So that's the kind of shit that gets you fired as a dealer. Start making up bullshit stories. As far as why this happens, it's actually really simple. If you are taking your street car and it has street car spring rates and street car dampers in it that don't have enough power to slow the wheel down when it's moving very quickly upwards towards the car, then it's going to crash. And it's going to crash in ways like this, where mechanically there's no more room for that wheel to go, and it just applies a bunch of force to the top of that strut tower. The solutions that I've seen of these strut tower braces feel a bit like snake oil, because there's nothing tying them down. There's one that I've seen that has some tie to a lower control arm. No, that was not a local shop to you. This was a shop in Northern California called Alex Shop saying this. So, yeah, just unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he knows better, because he has purchased a lot of those parts from us in the past, and now he's spinning something completely counter to that because he can't get them. So, just the bullshit that you have to deal with because people want to lie and do weird shit, right? Just silly. So here is an MCS equipped car at the Nürburgring. So with our full kit on it, you can still see those shiny little bits under the front. It's got Valkyrie arrow on it. Yeah. So when you hear something that's weird, that doesn't make any sense, please question it. Call us. Hey, I heard. Just like Brendan. Hey, I heard. And I was like, really? Where'd you hear that from? It's like, yeah, it didn't make any sense to me either, because I've seen a bunch of cars around here, and the curbs at COTA are no joke. Even Randy Popes and Barry, before they put MCS on the car, they're bouncing it off of the curbs. Felix at Saga Motorsports, Their car had stock dampers. They broke through the strut tower because they're fast and they're challenging the curbs, and eventually it just gives up because it keeps blasting on top of it. They wanted to fix that permanently. Put MCS on the car. Won't happen anymore. Anyway, I'll get back off my soapbox. I'm going to go pick up some hamburgers for dinner. That is still a Friday tradition. Those of you guys that have been around here for a minute. If you haven't, go check out a couple videos on the 992.2. It's interesting. It's expensive. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze over, say, maybe a $200,000 or $190,000 991.2 GT3 RS. If you're using it for the track. Just saying. I'm just saying, yo. I'll try not to do that very often. I can't do that well. I have nothing else. If you want parts, hit us up. They're on sale. We can help you. Even some fancy shiny parts like this. So hopefully next week, some more updates on carbon parts and some updates on pumpkin, which would be cool. I don't think they get here till Thursday, so it's not really, they're not going to have a lot done in a day, but maybe they do. I don't know. So, all right, y'all. Have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to get myself some more water because I'm now parched from talking to myself for an hour. Better than other things with yourself, although not all things.